Nation's #1 DJ, DJ Rockwell.
Yo, this is Apocalypse, the lyrical warner, hip-hop revelator. And you rockin' with the nation's #1 DJ, DJ Rockwell, you understand me?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the building. Welcome. This is your brother DJ Rockwell, host of the Rockwell Radio Show. Welcome to the show. It's a special event tonight, and I'm so glad that you are with us in the building. We need everybody. If you're watching, no matter you're watching this on the YouTube platform, if you're watching this on either of our Facebook channels, we need everybody to now follow the 3 rules of the Rockwell Radio Show. Big Dave, they are like and share. They are tag somebody, and last but not least, we need somebody, everybody, anybody to go ahead and subscribe to the Rockwell Radio Show. As you come in the building, let us know where you're watching from. We want to know what city's in the house. We can shout you out as you come in the house. This is the Rockwell Radio Show. So glad that you are with us. And man, we've got a special conversation to have tonight. And man, I am so eager and so ready to get to it, because when I came across tonight's conversation, I knew it was one that I was immediately interested in having. And it's very deep and personal to me. But we want to get some more eyes on this program. So we need everybody to, again, take your finger, hit that like button. And why do we do that? Why? It's not that I want y'all to like, per se. But what we're doing is we're getting the algorithm fed to let them know that there's an interest in this product, in this message, and this kind of content. And by the way, just to give you all a bit of background about this kind of content, that's on your face right now. That's in your face right now. We've been on the air 3 years. Come on, man, I can make some noise for that. Going on 4 years. My brother Big Dave and I started the Rockwell Radio Show. In fact, it was this month now, approximately 4 years ago, right during the pandemic. We wanted a way to reach people and combine the 2 things that we both love. We love the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we also love hip hop. We came from the hip hop culture, the hip hop background, and was looking for a way that we can combine our 2 loves. One which shaped the cultural aspect of our lives, and one which grew us up from the spiritual aspect of our lives. And when we look at all of the things and the way those 2 things intersect with one another, it was a no-brainer that the Rockwell Radio Show had to come to fruition because of that. And we've been here ever since, and you've been watching ever since, and we thank you. Now that I've said that, Big Dave, and Big Dave is the producer of the show. You may hear me reference him from time to time. As I was saying, why this show is important to me, why this particular subject we'll be discussing tonight is important to me, is because here in Atlanta, Georgia, at Muhammad Mosque 15 in the Nation, I had the privilege of over a decade ago serving as the coordinator of the junior FOI class here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I had the time of my life. At that time, my son Sadiq was just growing up in the mosque, 4, 5, 6 years old. And he was on tour around the state with Let Us Make Man doing speeches. And he would help me in talking with and training and educating the junior FOI. And it was a great time because I got to watch a lot of young Black men grow up under this information and impact their lives. Matter of fact, Dave, show them the photo. I want to start there. I had the privilege of taking them, the brothers and I, to Tuskegee, Alabama, now almost 13 years ago. It's in the picture section there. You'll see that photo with the young brothers. It's there. And we, at least 30 young boys were there. And I have a chance to watch these young boys get connected with Black history. I had a chance to watch them evolve. And look at that. That's them in 2013. And they had a chance to experience, to see what it looks like when Black men apply themselves, what it looks like when we dream outside of the parameters that this world sets for us. And for over a decade, I had the privilege to teach, train, inspire, and share whatever of my life value it had and has. By God's grace, I'm still here, and watch them grow up. And I had the time of my life, and some of those young men today are still active and serving their communities as we speak today. And I could not be more thankful. And before I bring up my guest, I just want to share just some of the things that we taught them, because it's very relevant to what my guest is doing today. We used to teach them the 7 principles of what it meant to be a FOI. We used to teach them the principles that a fruit is the best, that he's constantly training and conditioning himself to meet and overcome all obstacles in his path. We used to teach them that a fruit is obedient, militant, humble, tolerant, courteous, honest, and dependable. And the guest that you're going to meet today is operating in those same spirit, that same line, serving his community. He is here because he is celebrating 5 years with his school. And our brother, I could not be more proud of him. I could not be more impressed with his work. And you're going to meet him in just a quick second. But before we do, I want y'all to watch this. Oh, not yet. Let's go to the video first, Dave, and then that.
With Save Institute, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to save Black boys and young Black men from cycles of poverty, crime, incarceration, and lack of purpose. What we're seeing every day is we're losing so many of our boys, so many of our young men. We're losing them to violence. So many of them are getting murdered. So many of them are getting locked up one by one. And this is something that has deeply bothered me and all of us that work here at Save Institute. So we're on a mission to do something about it, to put a stop to these cycles.
For no problem. All units stand by. 7-0 receiving a 34 with the weapon. 1549.
In just a moment, I want to introduce you to a great brother. But before we do that, we're going to quickly go to the newsroom and lay the foundation for what our brother is doing. Dave, let's go. Did you know, family, that Black male teenagers, did you know, are more likely to be killed by guns than white teenagers? Did you know that in 2019, Black men and boys aged 15 to 34 made up 37% of gun homicide victims, even though they only make up 2% of the population? Did you know that by age 18, 30% of all Black males have been arrested at least once? Did you know that in 2021, only 76% of Black boys finished high school? That means 1 out of every or drop out? The question that we're going to talk about today with my guest, who or what is to blame? Is that the answer? Or is that the question? Or better yet, what are we going to do about it? I want to introduce my brother, who is one who is doing something about it. Please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show for the first time, my brother and yours, founder of Save Institute, Brother Atiba S. Jones. Salam alaikum, Maki.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, brother, the honor is mine. We need everybody to go ahead and do the do. We need everyone to go ahead and do the 3 steps of the Rockwell Radio Show because my brother is here. He's ready. Hit that like and share button. Tag somebody. And no matter where you're watching, follow, subscribe, hit that like because we got a lot to talk about with my big brother, Atiba Jones. Big brother, man, glad to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you again.
Now, what I want to do, Dad, you can kill the red Thor third. What I want to do is get a little background. Let's first tell the people how you and I even came across one another. Now, I know, and correct me if my memory serves or is incorrect, but the first time that I ever came in contact with Brother Atiba family is brother found me and he would call me to come DJ at the masjid, you know, and I gained a great relationship with Brother Atiba and other believers at the masjid. And this was now several years ago, and we've been blessed to keep in contact with one another. And I did not know after all this time that brother had this great program called Save Institute. Let's begin, dear brother, by talking about what is Save Institute, how long have you been open, and why did you begin it?
All right. Yeah, so so Save Institute formally has been established now for 5 years. So we established and incorporated Save almost exactly 5 years ago, and then after a couple years of doing a lot of different types of outreach programs, like retreats and youth summits and mentoring programs, we decided to launch the full-time school. So we've been running the school now for 3 years. But what this is all about, though, what it's all about is really doing something about all of the atrocities and the oppression and all of these horrible things that are taking place around the country is what I call a national crisis, the national crisis that nobody's talking about, right? We're losing so many of our young men one after another. And it is like at alarming rates, and nobody's talking about it, and hardly anybody's really doing anything about it, right? So Save Institute is all about saving our young men, saving the Black boys and the young Black men from cycles of poverty, crime, incarceration, and lack of purpose. And we do that through our proven formula, which is the acronym of SAVE.
Yes, sir.
SAVE stands for service, agriculture, vocational training, and entrepreneurship. So we've put these 4 elements together as a formula for the development of our young men. And over the past few years, we've already seen some amazing results.
Allahu Akbar. Come on, people. My brother Cedric Mitchell says, praise be to Allah. May Allah continue to allow you to do his great work. We need it and need more men like you. Big brother Bashir could not be more accurate. What I'd like to do is I want to talk a bit more about you. Before we go out, I want to go in. Tell us a bit about where Brother Atiba is from. I understand that you're from Philly. Start there.
All right. Yeah. So yes, I grew up in West Philadelphia, and the way I like to tell the story is that I didn't grow up in the worst neighborhood of Philly, right? It wasn't the best either, but it certainly wasn't the worst. But even in a neighborhood like that, I still saw so many of my brothers lost, right? A lot of the brothers that I grew up with murdered, locked up, right? These same things. So imagine what it's like in some of the worst neighborhoods, right? So so I saw this is my personal experience growing up in my neighborhood, but then also I saw these same things within my family. So
Yes,
many
sir.
majority of my cousins, right? My cousins, male cousins, the ones a little older than me, a little younger than me, majority of them got locked up at some point. Many, and a couple of them are still locked up 20 years later. So so I saw that, and then I came to Atlanta in 2000 to attend Morehouse, right? You know, the supposed, you know, this prestigious organization's prestigious school,
Yes, sir.
but surrounded by a neighborhood that was experiencing many of the same things that I saw growing up.
How about that?
Right. And I got a chance to meet a lot of brothers from all over the country. Right. It was in being exposed to the stories from these different cities and discovering the same things were going on in every one of these cities all over the country. And 2 years later, 2002, I got a chance to do a study abroad program in Damascus, Syria for 3 months. And I got a chance to work with orphan boys in Syria. And it was at that point where I discovered what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, which was focusing on youth development. And, you know, for the past 22 years, that's all I've been doing.
Bro, let me give you another round of applause. That's absolutely incredible story. My big brother Jamil said, bro must be from Winfield, West Philly.
Exactly.
That's our dear brother Jamil from Nothing But the Truth podcast. Big friend and family member of the show. And thank you for watching, big brother. Now, when we talk about that kind of background story, that kind of experiences that you have, what is it in you that makes you identify with a 14, 15, 16-year-old going through some of those struggles today? And how would you identify those struggles that they don't even see they're going through? What do you see them experiencing that you say, you know what, I need to reach out and grab him?
Absolutely. You know, so they asked me why I focus on Black male youth, because I was one, right? I was that you know, that's who I was. And that's what I understand. I understand what it's like to grow up in America as a Black boy and how difficult it is. And I understand how, you know, it is to, you know, not be cool to be smart. It's not cool to do well in school, right? You know, to fit in, you got to act like you don't care about school. You got to act like you don't care about, you know, anything that's positive. You got to put on this front, you know, and take on this thug image and all of these other negative things just to, you know, fit in, you know. And so what you see is a lot of young men who aren't really even like that naturally. They're stepping into a role that's not even them, right? Taking on certain personas, and this is magnified even more by the influence of all this negative music and media and so many other things that's glamorizing the thug life and the trap life and all of this stuff, right? And that's where we're losing them, right? They're hitting the streets, they're selling drugs, not because they need to make money. Many of them, some of them, they're doing it for survival. A lot of them, they're doing it just because that's what they think they need to do to look a certain way in front of their peers. So, so these are things that I've experienced myself, and I've seen over and over and over again. And it takes people with that type of experience to really get through to the young brothers who are going through it.
Let's stay on the point. And I didn't want to talk about blame very long, but we have to talk about accountability. And you saw in my introductory slide, I asked the question, who or what is to blame? And I think you'd agree with me that that list is too long to summarize. But when we talk about causation, because we know that there is no such thing as an effect without a cause.
That's right.
If you could just give me just maybe 2 or 3 things you think that are happening in the lives of young Black males that serves as points of cause of moving us away from where we need to go.
So I mentioned 2 things, right? Really kind of 2 sides of the equation that I believe, right? So on one side, you have all of the societal dynamics, right? So you have all of the faulty systems, from the educational systems, the justice system, and so many other systems that have really been designed to keep Black boys down. No doubt about it, right? And in many of these systems essentially were put into place and have stayed in place for this reason. However, on the other side, and I think what the more important conversation is what is not being done.
Yes, sir.
Right. So when you say whose fault is it? What I say is it's our fault. It's our fault for not stepping up and doing what we have to do to make sure our boys don't continue to go down the same path. So I'm not going to get stuck on, pointing a finger and blaming everybody else and all of these other systems. That's cool. That's what they were designed to do. They're doing their job. Now we have to do our job. All right. As Black men, as Black women, we have to step up and make sure that we put the systems in place that will uplift our youth rather than keep them down.
On that note of systems, I want to now focus on your mission statement that's right there, broad as day, on your website. Dave, can you pull up that mission statement slide real quick? On the opening page of your website, which is playing at the bottom of everyone's screen, by the way, it clearly says that the mission is to save Black male youth from cycles of poverty, crime, incarceration, and lack of purpose through engagement in service, agriculture, vocational training, and entrepreneurship. That is a mouthful. I want to focus, in my humble opinion, on what I think is the most important part of that mission statement: purpose. When you look at the young versions of you and I out in these streets, do you think that they are unaware of their purpose? And how do you get them to find their own purpose?
Absolutely. So no doubt about it. The overwhelming majority of our youth, really male and female, are growing up in a way where they're completely unaware of a life of purpose in general, but even more so their own individual purpose, right? So, and that's why we see many of them go down a lot of negative paths and a lot of paths that just aren't them, because they haven't tapped into what their purpose is and haven't been able to live within it. So we actually have a formula that we take our students through to help them with this, right? So we call it the pie of purpose. So it looks at all of these different factors that really make up who a person is, right? So we look at what their hobbies are, what their interest is, what their skills are, what the things that they're naturally good at. We take a look at their family history. We take a look at what they would like for their legacy to be. We take a look at social issues that they naturally are concerned about. We take a look at all of these different factors that make up who they are, right? And allow for them to study these things and question, why is it that I'm naturally inclined towards certain things? Why is it that I have experienced certain things I've experienced? So we even take a look at the traumas, right? And the hardships and the struggles they've been through, right? And so what we find is that a lot of people have gone through certain traumatic events, but those traumatic events turned out to be the things that have unlocked what their purpose is. Right. So you look at, for example, drug addiction. Some of the greatest, drug addiction counselors are recovering addicts. Right.
Fact.
So the experience of having been there has prepared them to be able to go back and help many, many other people. And you see this same type of thing over and over again. So we question and analyze and reflect upon what we've been through, and ask ourselves, why have we been through the things that we've been through? Why are we the way we are? Why do I have these natural inclinations and these natural characteristics about myself? Right? Because it's for a reason. So that's what we utilize. And then the 4 pillars of SAVE, each one of them as well, are all designed to help to increase awareness of purpose as well.
since you just said that, let's use this time now to dig into that acronym SAVE. Can you go ahead and unravel SAVE?
Yes, absolutely.
And give us a breakdown of each one.
I love to do it. So service is such a beautiful thing, right? So service is actually a tool that's been used for centuries, right? For personal development, for spiritual development, for a lot of things. You'll see certain spiritual masters take their students to different types of service to help them to put their ego in check and all of these other things, right? It helps a person to become more self-aware and understand that there's a bigger purpose, right? The world is greater than themselves. And so we take our students out and to do service projects around the city of Atlanta every Friday, right? So they're feeding the homeless, they're mentoring younger children, they're cleaning up neighborhoods, they're building community gardens in different areas. And then we take them out on service trips nationally. We travel to cities all around the country doing these same types of service projects, right? So getting them in the habit of being people of service. And statistics show that once you engage youth in service at a young age, then they're much more likely to be adults who live their lives in service.
Beautiful.
Right, so that's what we're trying to do: create people of service. Agriculture, right? So teaching the youth how to grow food, how to grow vegetables and herbs and fruit, but also raise animals and get in touch with all of this beautiful nature, which helps them to reconnect to their own nature while growing food for themselves. And a vocational training, giving them skills that they can do with their hands, skills that they can take with them, no matter what career path they go down. They have these concrete skills that they always can utilize, things they can always do. They can build their own house if they want to. They can repair, the things around the house that need to be repaired, right? And giving them valuable skills that they can contribute to society, so they no longer are young men who are taken away from society or doing negative things within society, but they're contributing. And then went to entrepreneurship, right? They're taking all of the things that they're learning, all the experiences they're having, right? And they're challenged to come up, not just with any kind of business, not just with any business that can make money, but again, it's all about purpose, a purpose-driven business, right? So tapping into who they are and what they should be contributing to society. Now, how can you build a business around that, right? So we take them through that process. And then these four elements together, right? So we call it a formula for the development of our youth. And like I said before, through this formula, we've seen great results already.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight is Brother Atiba Jones. He is the founder of the SAVE Institute right here in Atlanta. And the audience, the target, the goal is the upliftment of our boys. We need everybody to follow, once again, the three steps of the Rockwell Radio Show. Hit that like and share button, tag somebody, and above all, no matter where you're watching, no matter where you're following along, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notifications so when we're live, you're also live with us. Brother Atiba, we're up against a break, but I want to try to slide in one more question before we go to break. And my brother says, whether he knows it or not, he's expressing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's will for the black man. Come on, Sid. No question. Now, I don't like the term devil's advocate, but you get what I mean when I say that language. Yes. What do you say to the critique that we often hear from other communities that say that they always cry or play victim when they are the ones perpetrating this reality on themselves? Look at how they live. Look at their culture. Look at that. What do you say in response to those who say, stop playing victim?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, anybody who says something like that is clearly ignorant of history, right? All you have to do is take just a small glimpse of the history of this country, right? And not just the distant past, right? That's where it started, but then all the way, you can just look at century by century, decade by decade, all the way up until today, and all of the different things that have been that have been put in place in the systems and the laws and all of these different things. So somebody who says that is just completely ignorant of history. That's the first thing. But on the other hand, I do agree that we shouldn't put so much energy into crying about the issue, but we have to begin rolling up our sleeves, unifying, coming together, and doing something about it. And that's where most of our energy today should be going. And that's what this is all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Brother Atiba Jones. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, what we're going to talk about is the fact that this is an actual brick and mortar location. Is that correct, Brother Atiba?
Yes, absolutely.
And he is celebrating 5 years of operation in Atlanta. We're going to talk about how to support him, how to help him, and how to get more attention on the service that he's providing in the city of Atlanta. Don't go away, because we will be right back.
What up with it, man? You already know what time it is. It's me, Young County Don. I'm up in this thing.
Peace. This is Aziz, the Kid Kareem, the Left Giving them seed.
Peace, everyone. This is Brother Anthony K. Muhammad, also known as A-Tone, the hip-hop historian.
Peace, family. What's going on? It's Brother Jabril, Brother Mustafa, Lordship Productions in the building.
I am your sister, Arian Nicole. Peace, peace, peace. It's your sister, Sue Axel. You're watching the Rockwell Radio Show.
You are now tuned in live to the Rockwell Radio Show.
Right now, you're listening to Rockwell Radio Show.
Rockwell Radio. If you ain't listening, man, you wasting time. You on all these other stations, you need to tap in. Rockwell Radio.
You know what it is. Watch him, watch him, watch him.
I'm here with Brother Rockwell, the Rockwell Radio Show.
If you ain't in the game, you in the stand. Stop playing, man. Let's go.
When last time you bought a final call?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, man. You see what I'm saying? We always want to stop. I mean, this is what I'm not doing. Yeah, everybody go buy a final call tomorrow. Everybody who watched it. The Muslims shouldn't have no papers in their hand tomorrow. Because you know what the Muslims going to do with the money?
True.
They're going to create other Muslims.
True.
You know what the Muslims are going to do? They're going to keep your neighborhood safe. They're going to show your little girl ain't nothing wrong with wearing a long dress. They're going to teach your children they're the original people on earth. So you know what that little $2 going to do. So go and spend that little $2.
True. True.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Assalamu alaikum. This is your brother, Nuri Muhammad. And whenever I'm searching for a source or a platform that I can get some news that I can use, I look forward to and look at, watch and listen to the Rockwell Radio Show. And I hope you will do the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we are back. This is your brother, DJ Rockwell, host of the Rockwell Radio Show. My guest tonight is Brother Atiba Jones. He is the founder of the SAVE Institute here in Atlanta. It is an organization aimed at and pointing them in the right having a little bit of a hiccup. Okay, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Internet outage for a second. But let's keep going. I want to talk about the fact that this is an actual brick and mortar location. I want you to tell us about the journey of going from idea to a key to a door that turns.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as far as the idea, Like I said, I've been on this journey for now 22 years working with youth, right? And all throughout this time, I've been really searching for the right formula, the most effective formula for developing our youth. And I've done every type of youth development you can imagine, from being elementary school teacher to leading starting schools and starting after school programs and summer camps and all different types of programs, both here locally as well as internationally. And I went back to school about 9 years ago. Got a master's degree in educational leadership. And
awesome. Let me get a hand. Let me get a hand.
Yeah, so while I was in graduate school, I was able to study different models of education around the country, and in other countries as well. And I really became inspired by the different models. So it was there that some of the ideas.
Okay. I'm having an unstable internet connection today. And you know what? The enemy's got to do what the enemy's got to do. But we're going to keep pushing, dear brother. You were talking about research and where you went to find different study models.
Yeah, absolutely. So from all of the research combined with experience, this formula was developed. And so in 2019, between 2019 and 2021, we started launching a lot of our outreach programs, right? So we started doing different workshops, retreats, and in different types of sessions within the community. And after 2 years of doing this, we knew it was time to launch the full-time private school, right? And what makes it unique is that this is a tuition-free private school, right? Most schools that are tuition-free are either public or charter schools,
Right.
and most private schools are very expensive and inaccessible to the ones who need it the most. So we decided to step out on a limb and launch a tuition-free private school specifically for Black boys, right? So we just completed our third school year, and so we founded a school right here in South Atlanta, and we've been running the school here in this community called Glen Rose Gardens for the past 3 years. Now we've been blessed to acquire 78 acres of land in Lithia Springs, which is just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. 78 acres where we're building out a new campus that we call Safe Haven. Right. So Safe Haven is designed to be an oasis for our youth, an oasis of development, right? With all of the things that a young person would need, right? In an environment that is away from a lot of the distractions of the urban neighborhoods, a lot of the negativity, and a lot of, the things that keep a lot of our young men in trouble, pulling them outside of this environment and surrounding them in a natural, beautiful environment where we have crops growing and animals and beautiful scenery and green spaces and recreational spaces and vocational training spaces and all of these different elements. And we now have a boarding component as well. And so we're housing students that are coming to us from around the country. Right. So we have about 8 different cities represented at our school right now through our boarding program. And we're really just getting started.
Absolutely incredible. Incredible story. For those who I know we're experiencing a little internet problems here at the Rockwell Radio Show, but I hope that we haven't lost most of our audience. And for those who are still with us, we're asking everyone to go ahead and hit that like and share button, because this kind of information needs to be promoted, needs to be pushed, and needs to be, above all, celebrated. Dear brother, speaking of celebrated 5 years, and I know that you didn't accomplish this by yourself. As I went to your website, I saw that you have a strong team. Tell me about some of those who are going through this battle with you and are fighting by your side to do this.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to put it. Really, fighting by my side. None of us can do it alone, right? It takes a village. It takes all of us to come together, to put our differences to the side and do the work for our people, right? So this is unapologetically a movement for the upliftment of Black people with a focus on Black male youth. And so that's what it's all about. And it takes for us to come together. So, so the team that we have from the board to the staff, to the volunteers, the parents, and so many others, the donors who are giving on a monthly basis. We have a program called the Save Champions, right? So we have about 67, 70 people who are donating just every month, coming straight out of their account. And then others who are donating larger amounts, and others who are giving their time, and others who are doing so much work. And it's just been a beautiful thing to see what can happen, to see what's possible when we come together for our youth.
Let's stay there for a moment. Tell people who are watching this right now how they can be a Save Champion.
Absolutely. So right there on the website that's listed below, thesaveinstitute.org. And you can go to the donate page and feel free to contribute however much you have. Some people that give $5 a month, some people that give $200 a month. So whatever you can, all proceeds are really, really impactful and beneficial to the work that we're doing.
Brother Atiba, what's the most rewarding part of this for you?
It's the outcomes, right? It's the outcomes. It's seeing young men, right? So we now have young men who've been with us for 3-4 years, right? And they've come through our high school, they've graduated, they've gone on to apprenticeship programs, they've gone on to college, they've gone on to trade schools, and running their own businesses and doing other things, but most importantly have stepped into leadership roles within the community, right? So seeing young men who started off as little knuckleheads giving us a hard time, and to see them now step out into the world as leaders and role models, this is such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful.
Come on now. Beautiful, beautiful. Big Dave, what I want to do at this point is put the phone number on the screen. I want people to be able to call, for those who may be watching, to ask our brother a question. But above all, if any of the students or parents from the Save Institute are watching, I want them to be able to call in and give a testimony about what this brother is doing for their families, for the community, and for the people. So Dave, go ahead and put that number on the screen. That number, as you'll see pop up any second. Big Dave, are you there? There it is, Big Dave. The number is 404-919-7399. For those who are watching that want to ask our brother a question, who want to just simply thank the brother for what he's doing in the hood, I wouldn't mind hearing from you, and I'm sure that he wouldn't mind hearing from you. But as we wait for the phone to ring, should it ring, let me continue with a few more questions as we're down to our last several minutes of the show, Brother Atiba. I want to talk about the boys themselves. Tell me about when they come to your class for the first time. What do you see in their disposition? Are you finding them to be closed? Are you finding them to be eager? What are you seeing in them when students are brand new that sit down at your desks?
Yeah. So we actually take the students through a process before they're even accepted into the program.
Tell us about it.
And what we tell the families is that there's really only one requirement. We only have one requirement for acceptance into Save. And that's the young man has to want it for themselves, right?
Come on.
They can't be being forced by their moms or their dads or their grandma. They have to want it for themselves. It doesn't matter what background they're coming from. It doesn't matter what their academic capabilities are. It doesn't matter if they've been locked up or not. Are you ready for this process is the question I ask, right? tell them all about the school. I tell them all about the program, tell them why we're doing it, and I tell them what we're trying to transform them into. And I ask them, are you ready for this? Do you want this for yourself?
Come on.
Right. And majority of them say, yes, I'm ready. Some of them, they're like, nah, so it's okay. Let us know when you're ready and you come. But every single one of them that come in, they come in ready. Right. And that's what makes it special, because they understand what they're getting themselves into. And then when they start off on that first day, we take them out of the city. We take them out on a camping trip. Every year, the first 2 days of school, we're out in the woods camping, right? Preparing them mentally for what they're about to get themselves into, preparing them for the process they're about to go through. And then from there, it's just beautiful things take place.
Share a story, if you will. Well, we hope that the phone will ring, because most people watch the Rockwell Radio Show on their phones. So for those of you who are watching this program tonight, and this is live, if you are watching the program on your phone and you want to give a testimony via inbox or via text, feel free to jot down a testimony if you are a member there at Save Institute. I'd love to hear from you. And while we wait for either those to either text or call, share a success story. Share a story that's personal to you, of a young man that you witnessed come in the door and make a life-changing transformation that you saw with your own two eyes.
Yeah, so I'll tell a story of a current student that's with us right now. I have so many different stories, especially from the ones who've graduated, but I'll tell one right now of a young man who's still with us, right? So he'll be a senior this year. And he came to us really, dealing with a lot of family issues, a lot of, just negative things, unfortunately, that he was exposed to. He had been kicked out of, I think, the last 2 schools that he had gone to, and came in, using drugs and engaging in crime and doing a lot of just negative things. He was just in a habit. But what was very clear was that he was a young man with a lot of potential, right? A good nature, a good heart, good, just genuine disposition. However, just caught up in the habit of all of this negativity. And we work with him and he kept on messing up. He kept on going back to what he knew, even bringing a lot of these things into the school, the drugs, the, stealing and, and a lot of other things. And it got to the point where he almost didn't make it. Like he was like, okay, look, you got to go, or either you have to go or you have to make a drastic change.
One or the other.
What's it going to be? He said, I'm going to change. I want to be here and I'm going to do it. And guess what? He did it. And he's like, right now, he's one of our leaders within the school. A senior student, doing amazing, great character, staying away from all of those things. And he's just a model student. It's a beautiful thing. I'm about to cry just thinking about it.
Brother, we both about to be crying up in here, brother. As we wind towards the end, how important is Black male mentorship to the process?
It's everything. It's everything. That's what it's all about. And that is the most important element. And that's what you found for centuries, probably since the beginning of time, right? It takes men to produce men, just like it takes women to produce women. Right. So if we want our boys to grow up into positive men, we have to have positive Black men stepping up and being mentors and teachers for them. They're coming from families that oftentimes the men are missing, schools that have hardly any men, right? So they're pretty much surrounded by women and girls majority of their lives. So what we've done is made sure that all of our teachers are all positive Black men. And that really is the most important element, honestly.
Listen. tell me about, and again, while we're talking, I want to make sure that people see the phone number. And again, this is live. We're right here right now. This is DJ Rockwell of the Rockwell Radio Show. And our guest is Brother Atiba Jones. He's the founder of Save Institute right here in Atlanta. It's a high school targeting Black boys and helping our young men. And we couldn't be more thankful for the service Brother is offering here in Atlanta. And Dave, if you'll pull down the number just for a second, you'll see right there, coming soon to your screen, the website you can go to get more information about Save is www.thesaveinstitute.org. There it is on your screen now, thesaveinstitute.org, to learn more and support our dear brother. And the effort that he's doing has been absolutely phenomenal. We've now heard about the experience from the student perspective. Tell me about the experience from the parent perspective. Is it safe to assume that most of the parents are mothers that bring their children to you?
Absolutely.
And,
You already know.
what do they see? What is their experience? What is this story from their vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, majority of the students come to us, just like you said, from mothers, majority single mothers. And they're really essentially saying that the same thing. Please help me with my son. I don't know what to do anymore. He turned 13, 14, 15, and now he won't listen to me. He's out in the streets. He's failing in school. He's doing this. He's doing that. Please, I don't know what to do. I'm not a man. I don't know how to raise a man. I need men to help me with my son. Please help me. That's what they're saying. And again, I'm getting a little bit emotional thinking about it, but it's been like every single day I'm getting these phone calls. Please help me with my son, right? And it's been a beautiful thing having the honor of being able to help some of these young men, and then just seeing the gratitude from the families, and how grateful they are and thankful after seeing their son go through this process and end up being excellent men in our community.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Brother Atiba Jones of the Save Institute. As we close, I'll ask this question of you, dear brother. And again, I want to point everyone to this brother's website and his service, especially if you're in Atlanta. Please go to his website, www.thesaveinstitute.org. And they're celebrating this year their 5th year of being in operation and serving our community. And brother, we cannot thank you enough for all of your dedication for our people here in the Atlanta area. Let's just assume that there's a teen boy watching tonight. There's a young Black man who might be experiencing some of the things that I talked about in my opening monologue, and as I talked about the statistics that we see. And you've seen them. What do you say to a young Black man who is searching for guidance but doesn't know that he needs it? How do you approach that young man, Brother Atiba?
So, the first thing that I would say, and the first thing that I always say, is know that you have men here who love you. You have men who care about you. We have men who have been where you've been and made a lot of the mistakes that you're making right now. And we see your greatness inside of you. Now it's time for you to see the greatness inside of yourself. And it's time to live up to your purpose and help not only uplift yourself, but then go back and uplift millions of others.
Beautiful. Brothers and sisters, you've just tuned into another episode of the Rockwell Radio Show. And again, one of the main reasons that we are here is to uplift and make sure brothers like Atiba and services he offers are made available to you, because you're not going to see this on CNN. You're not going to see this on CBS. You're not going to see this. Every time there's a story about young Black men, it's a bleeding, leading story. It's a story about woe is me, not a story about a young Black man like Atiba, who is using his own resources. Imagine what it took to go from an idea to a building to now acreage. Brother, I think Allah's hand is on you, your team, and working a mighty miracle through you. Any closing comments from you, dear brother?
So just want to say thank you again for having me. It's an honor. I appreciate, the platform and, this radio show that's putting out so many positive messages. And I encourage all of us to continue to support this effort and support all the efforts that are out here, striving to do something positive for our people, to do something positive in society and to create real impact.
Brother, whenever you want to have me come by and teach a DJ class, I'm your man. I'd be happy to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we had done it. That's Brother T. This is DJ Rockwell, and it's been an honor to have you. Go to his website again. The brother is worthy of support. We'll see you again next time right here on the Rockwell Radio Show. We are out of here.
Now, if you got past all of that, you might as well keep on rocking with us. So come on, everybody, let's go. Radio show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. That means you too. Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. Come on now, y'all. Yeah. It's a dope episode, man. Come on, man. Top tripping.